Okay, today we are going to focus on multiplying facts, any multiplication facts 0 through 12. So on your notes, you'll notice that you see a chart that has 1 through 12. We didn't put zeros on there because anything times 0 is what? 0. So that's kind of silly and just a waste of your effort to fill that in, okay? So after we did our master check yesterday on multiplication facts, I figured this might be a good thing to put into our journal. So we're going to start by filling in this chart together. Before we do, let's make a little note at the top. It says the most important fact about the multiplication facts is you have to memorize these. You have to. Gotta memorize them. So if there's any that you are still struggling with, 6s are hard, 8s can be hard, sometimes 7s can be hard, maybe 4s are hard, okay? So we've got to make sure that we're practicing these. Make yourself flashcards, practice them at home so that you are good. They've got to be memorized. You should know these like quickly. You should be able to rattle them off to me. Okay, so practice, practice, practice. Yes?
At the end of school, do we have to say the multiplication facts again?
No, that was like 3rd grade. Yeah, you should already know them now. Yeah. So if there's any that you're still struggling with, that's what I'm saying. You want to make sure that you're working on those more difficult facts at home so that you're prepared when you come here, so that that's not slowing you down, okay? You'll also have this chart in your journal, so you'll be able to reference it if you ever need to, and I think you guys have one in the back of your journal on the inside cover at the very, very end. And we also glued one in the inside front cover, like I gave you one to glue in as well. Mm-hmm.
If we're ever working on facts, like to get better at them, if we have enough time instead of reading, can we come practice them with you?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have flashcards, so you're welcome to grab some flashcards to practice.
I already have flashcards from my old school.
Okay, so we want to make sure that we practice daily. If there are certain facts that you're still like, man, I am still not the best at this yet, I need to work on this, that's what I want you practicing daily, okay? So we're going to go ahead and fill in all of our facts in this table. Do y'all know how this works? Okay, some people have not seen this table last year. A few of my students, they weren't sure how it worked. So it's like a matching game kind of. I'm going to take the 1 times the 1, write that answer here. 1 times the 2, put that answer here. 1 times 3, and so on. So we're going to go ahead and fill in all of the 1s. And I'm going to let you just fill in as many as you know. Just keep on going. Fill in all the ones that you know. That way we kind of have an idea of maybe which ones we need to work on. So you just keep going. Fill in as many as you know. As many as you can. Okay, so you guys probably started noticing a pattern. Each row, you're counting by the number that starts that row. So for example, on my 2s, I'm counting by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And if I look at this, I can say, okay, well, 2 times 8 is 16. It's like a matching game, kind of like the game Battleship. If you've ever played Battleship, it's kind of like that, where you're finding a point on the multiplication chart. Okay, going down is the same thing. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. As you were filling in your chart, hopefully you guys were able to pinpoint maybe some of your facts that need practice. Okay, if you weren't able to get the whole thing filled in, you're like, man, okay, it's the 8s. I have a lot of gaps in my 8s, or I have a lot of gaps in my 6s. Or 12s. Okay, 12s are hard too. So make sure that you are making note of that, and you can come borrow some flashcards from me, and you can practice those facts. Okay, the 3s row, I'm counting by 3s. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. You guys should be checking, making sure that you have all of these correct. Please don't have wrong answers. This should be right. I want to make sure that they're right in your journal, because your journal is a tool to help you. So if they're not right in your journal, then you're going to have a hard time using this chart if you have wrong information. Okay, the next row is 4, so I'm going to start counting by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. My fives row, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. This one's pretty easy. This is one of the first ones that you learn because of the pattern. They either end in a 5 or a 0.
This was the 5th one we learned.
Good.
Because we did the ice cream thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to kind of.
Number 6, counting by sixes, we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 66, 72. Sevens, 7, 14, 21, oops, I was skipping ahead. 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, and 84.
84.
Your eights. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88, 96. Nines are my favorite. I love nines because of the finger trick that you can use. I love nines because of the patterns that you identify in them. They are my favorite. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, 99, 108. Tens, these you guys know really well. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. 11s are pretty easy too. They start to get a little trickier once you get up to 11 times 11 and 11 times 12. I find that a lot of students forget what those two are.
That's the one I forget a lot.
So you have 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, and then 110.
On this, like, it's 10, 20, but when I do 2 times, when I get to 2, that's
It's because you've got
18.
4 listed twice.
Oh.
Then 121 and 132. And then for 12s, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 108, 120, 132, and 144.
I got 1 for
Lots of writing, but it's very beneficial. So I want to talk now over here on the side where it says blank times any number is always blank. What do you think that is? If you multiply any number by this one certain digit, yes, 0 times any number is always 0.
Can you slow
Mm-hmm.
down?
I'm going to push it up just a little bit, but I'm going to leave that there just so you guys can see the bottom part, because I think most of you guys have at least through 5. Okay, so here's some learning strategies that help you memorize. We're looking right here first. So blank times a number is that number. 1, very good. So 1, I'm actually going to write that out. I'm going to spell that out. 1 times a number is that number. What number are doubles?
2.
2s. 2s are doubles. If I skip count, that'd be like 2, 4, 6, 8, ... I could keep going. What always ends in 0 or 5?
0. Your handwriting looks like 5.
Very good. Look, it either ends in a 5 or a 0, 5 or 0, 5 or 0. Seeing that pattern, 5 or 0, 5 or 0. So they all end in 5s or 0s. So 5s end in 0 or 5. And then what always ends in a 0?
0.
10s. Very good. 10s.
Miss Watson.
10s always end in 0 if you look at that row. Yes, ma'am.
How do you get your little dot to be a lightsaber?
I had changed it at one point. I'm not really sure how to change it back. Okay, so 9s, my favorite number, because you have the finger trick and because there is a pattern. Okay, I'll show you in a minute. All right, 0 times 9 we all know is 0. 1 times 9 is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. Then 27, 36, 45, 54. This is where my pattern starts happening. 63, 72, 81. I have to scoot this up a little bit. And 90. 90. Somebody said 99. I just wrote what you said. Okay, that should be 90. There we go. Okay, so the pattern is explained here for you. It says 1 less 9 times 6. 1 less 6 is 5. Right? Does everybody agree that 1 less than 6 is 5?
Yes.
So 5 plus 4 equals 9, which is 54. So our trick, it's the 1 less answer rule. Okay, you can also identify patterns though, and I'll also show you the finger thing in just a second. 9 times 6, so if you take 1 less than that, 54, okay, it's a 5, and then plus 4, 1 less again, makes 54. Now, if that doesn't make sense, that's okay, because look what else is really cool, is you have this pattern. You have 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. Right here, they all flip around. So now, instead of 45, I have 54. Instead of 36, I have 63. Instead of 27, I have 72. Instead of 18 for 18, I have 81. Now, if I was talking about just the digit 9, I could put a 0 in front. So the opposite of 09 would be 90, which would be 90. Okay, it's kind of cool. Now, the finger trick, what you do is you hold up, raise your hand if you know this.
Nope.
Only a couple people? Okay, so you're going to hold up your 2 hands in front of you like this. Okay, if it's 9 times 3, you put your 3rd finger from the left down. Okay, so I have 20 over here and then 7 over here. If it's 9 times 5, you put your 5th finger from the left down, and it's 45. No. If it's 9 times 7, you put your 7th finger from the left down, and that's 63. Does that make sense?
No, I don't know that one.
Okay. Finger tricks are fun, but it only works up to 90 because, well, actually, it only works up to like 9 times 9 technically, because when you put, well, it kind of works. I mean, 9 times 10 is 90. You just have to know that you put a 0 at the end. But you don't have 12 fingers, so it won't work all the way up to 12. It'll only work up to 9 technically. Okay, let's do our practice real quick. So look at the next page. Number 1 says, a chef has 9 glass jars of pickles on a shelf. Each jar holds 9 pickles. How many pickles does the chef have in all? So we cubes anything that is a word problem all the time. If you're having side conversations, please end them. Okay, so a chef has 9, glass jars of pickles on a shelf. Each jar holds 9 pickles. How many pickles does the chef have in all? Okay, I have 9 jars. Each jar holds 9. So that means I have 81 pickles in all. Next, Simon walks 8 miles every day. How many miles has Simon walked if it has been 4 days? So if he walks 8 miles, every day, how many has he walked if it's been 4 days? What do we do?
8 times 4.
Right. 8 times 4, which is 32. If I'm cubesing, it's a new word. If I'm using cubes, you're using cubes. If I'm writing, you're writing. If I circle, you circle. If I underline, you underline. If I box, you box. If I write, you write.
Okay.
Got it.
We got it.
All right, Carol makes 7 liters of lemonade per hour for her lemonade stand. How many liters of lemonade has she made if 5 hours have passed?
35.
Yeah, because we did 7 times 5, which equals 35. Okay, last but not least, an author writes 2 pages for her book each day. If 6 days pass by, how many pages have been written by the author? What am I doing? 2 times,
6.
which equals
12.
so your answer is A, 12.